Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you all doing? Hope you are doing fine. Happy new week to you all. So guys, it's me Blessing, and if you are joining us for the very first time, you are just clicking on this channel for the very first time. This is a Bliss Culture where I share a pattern drafting and a sewing tips. So guys, in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make this beautiful gown you see me putting on. This is the inspiration I used to make mine. So guys, if this sounds like what you want to learn, you want to know how I drafting, this is a pattern drafting. For this particular video here is a pattern drafting. In my next video, I will post where I sew this beautiful gown you see me putting on. If this sounds like what you want to learn, definitely keep on watching and let's get started. So guys, welcome back. With me here I have my fabric. This is the fabric I will be working with. This is a velvet, also known as a suede, anyone you call it in your area. Here are my ruler and my biro. I will be using biro for this tutorial. These are my scissors and my tape roll. So guys, first thing I will just take this fabric and suede. I will take it aside first, then bring out my pattern paper. We all know that before I start drafting, I will first of all rule out a straight line like this. Then people should not mind my biro, please. I didn't remember to buy a marker, so and I really need this work urgently. That is why I just went ahead to use a biro for this particular video. Please just stay tuned, just watch carefully, you will understand what I'm drafting. Okay, it is just normal basic bodice pattern anyways. It's a pattern that we are all familiar with. Okay, so guys, this is me marking from my shoulder to my bust point line and to my under bust and to my waistline as well. So now after marking, I just went ahead to straighten this, extend this line through like this, just the way you see me marking. Like I said, please ignore this biro. I know is kind of too, it's not too that pronounced, but just bear with me on this particular video. But just watch what I'm saying, you will understand it. Okay, so guys, I'm just rolling out my lines like this. So I'm rolling it like this with a ruler. Then I will just move over to my waistline and I will roll it like so. We'll just roll it straight like this. Okay, so guys, after rolling, this is how it looks like. For my armhole, from this bust point here, I will come up by 2 inches, okay, to have my chest line. Then after dotting, I will now go ahead to just roll it. I'm crocheting the other part so that I will have a straight line there. You see me doing that. I'm just make sure that this line here is as straight as possible. So guys, I will just go ahead to extend this line, just knitting the dots together like this, and that will serve as my armhole or chest line. Okay, then after marking, I will just go ahead to label all this. This is my shoulder line here, and here is my chest line. This is my bust point line, my under bust line, and finally my waistline. Okay, so now guys, the next thing we'll be doing here is to divide my shoulder measurement by 2. Then I will mark what I have. My shoulder measurement is 14 inches. When I divide by 2, I will have 7. Then I move over to my chest line here. Then I mark the say 7 inches here so that I will be able to have a straight line like this. Okay. So guys, after rolling like this, I will take off my ruler. This is how it looks like. So now the next thing I will be doing here is to divide my bust measurement by 4. Then I will mark what I have on this chest line here. Then after marking, I will come over to this line, this armhole line, and come down by 1 inches for my shoulder slope. Then after that, I will mark my neckline for the width. For this particular one, for the neckline, I'm not using this particular neckline. I'm just drafting it, okay? Because we are not using it. So for this particular one, I put 3 inches for the width. Then I will extend it to my shoulder slope like this. Okay, I will just extend like this. So we now have our shoulder slope now. So from this, where this shoulder slope ended, I will mark what I have to the chest line to find my midpoint. Then I will come in by 0.5 inches. Then I will just connect the stereo lines together. My shoulder slope, the midpoint, and my measurements. So I will curve it with a French curve to give us our armhole. Remember, our armhole is not that straight. It's a curving, or let me say, is curving. So that is how to achieve that curving part there. Okay, so now this is me rolling this armhole like this. So from the neck depth here, I will come in by 3 inches. Like I said, we are not using this particular neckline. Okay, we are just using it for a guide. So I will just roll it like this. This is how it will be looking like after rolling. So guys, now this is a basic buttons, just a form of a basic buttons. So now the next thing I will be doing is to divide my nipple to nipple measurement by 2. Then I will mark what I have. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7. Then by the time I divide by 2, I will have 3.5 inches. Then I will just want to go ahead to mark that 3.5 inches from the bust point line to the waistline. Then after marking, I will just go ahead to roll up this line from my bust point line down to my waistline. So after marking, I will come over to the shoulder measurement like this. I will slant it just the way we did it for shoulder slant. I will look for the midpoint there. Then I will mark it. After that, I will connect it to meet the nipple to nipple measurement we marked earlier. So this is how it will be looking like. You can see me extending the line to my bust point line. So this is how it will be looking like. Okay, then now for this bust point line here, I will come down by 1 inches, so that the reason why I'm coming down to remove any as in sharp edge from that curvy in case you want to create your armhole. Then I will move over to sorry to say, you want to create your bust curve. Okay, then after that I will come over to the under bust and mark 1.5 inches on the side going to the armhole side, and half an inch on the center front. Okay, then after marking like so, I will use a curving ruler like this to connect from this point, from the 0.5 inches to the 1 inches we come down with. Okay, so I will move over to the side. Sorry to say, from there I will now extend that line with a straight ruler down to my waist line like this. After using a fresh curve to connect from my under bust to my bust point, then I use my straight ruler to connect from the under bust to my waist. So this is for the side. I connect from that 1.5 inches I come in with from the side. To meet that 1 inches I come down from my bust point line. Then after curving, I will go ahead to extend this line down to my waistline with a straight ruler like this. So guys, we have contour our, or we have tightened our under bust here. So now the next thing I will be doing here is to determine how low I want my off shoulder to be, okay, where my neckline will start from. So by this I come up by 1 inches from my chest line. This, if you want to use 2 inches up, you can use it. If you want to use half inches, you can use that. But for me, from the chest line I come up from by 1 inches. This totally depends on you. You can come up by half inch if you want. You can even come up by 1.5 inches if you want. But for me, I don't want my cleavage to that open. That is why I come up by 1 inches. So for this 1 inches I come up with, I will now mark 0.5 inches on the dart leg like this. I will mark 0.5 inches on the both side. Then I will connect it to meet the bust point line like this, okay? I will connect it to meet the bust point line. Then I will move over to the other side and I will also connect it to meet the bust point line like this, okay? So please, if you are not seeing this clearly, I'm really sorry, but as I'm explaining it, you will understand it, okay? This is me blending this part here so that it will be curving, not sharp, okay? So I will do the same thing to the center front. I will also curve it like this so that I will have a curvy part because our bust is not pointed. So guys, basically this pattern is ready. I will just go ahead to add my body measurements. You remember this a bust point line, we have already marked my bust point. Then I will replace my dart there. I mark my dart and I replace it at the sides, plus 1.5 inches for my seam allowance. Then I will ignore the under bust there to move over to the waistline like this. I will divide my waist measurement by 4. Then I will replace my dart intake. After replacing my dart intake, I will now add 1.5 inches for my seam allowance. Then after marking like this, I will go ahead to extend this line together. So guys, next thing we'll be doing is to create our sweetheart neck. So for this upper chest line that we come up with 1 inches earlier, I will now come down by half an inch from the upper chest line. I will come down by half an inch. This totally depends on you. You can maintain your chest line if you want, but for me, I don't want to expose my boob, okay? So now for this one, before I will draw my neckline, I will first of all, for the dart leg, I'll first of all measure it because I normally see that one dart leg is higher than one. So I will first of all measure the other one to see the inches that is longer, so that I will replace it to the shorter one, okay? This is me just cross-checking it. I'm cross-checking the other dart leg. So one I have 3.5, the other leg, which is the center front dart leg, I have just 3 inches, while for the side dart leg I have 3.5. So I will just go ahead to blend it, correct the side, the center front, okay, so that by the time when I want to join it, no one will be shorter than one or one will be longer than one. That is the reason why you must cross check before you draw your neckline, okay? So now I've replaced the missing, I've replaced it, okay? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So after that, after replacing, I will just go ahead to connect my sweetheart neck to where I want it to be, okay? And from the dart leg to connect it to the where how deep I need it, okay? So now that is it. So for the other side, for the side, I will connect from the other dart leg to meet my armhole like so. Okay, I will just connect it like this, then I will just meet it at my armhole line like this. Okay, this eye it will be looking like. Now I've successfully create my sweetheart neck. So guys, basically we are done with this pattern. I will just go ahead to cut out this pattern. So guys, I've done cutting my pattern. This is how it looks like. I see the center front and the side. Okay, so now for this for here, so guys, now the next thing I will be doing for this particular one here, for this pattern, I will just take it aside so that we will just go ahead. We will go ahead. I will take this part here aside first. Then we'll go ahead to make that belt. How will I call it? That it's not a it's a kind of belt. I don't know. So now this that leg that I drew before, this that leg I will now cut it out. Then I will trace out the armhole like this. I don't know if you understand me. You remember we extended our that leg to our shoulder line, to our shoulder. So we cut according to that line there. Then cut our shoulder slope. Then cut our armhole. That will be the belt part that you will fist your your sleeve to. Okay, let me just put it as yoke. Is a yoke. This is how it will be looking like. You can see that you fix it like this, and that will be a yoke. That's where you will attach your sleeve to. Okay, hope you get it. So now this is how it looks like. Let's take this one aside. This is a fresh paper, and this for the back pattern. So now I will be ruling this shoulder line here. From there I will mark my from shoulder to my bust point line, from shoulder to my under bust, and oh sorry to say, from shoulder to bust chest line, waistline, and bust point line. Okay, there's no under bust here. Okay, then after ruling like this, I will mark my zipper allowance by 2 inches. Then I will now mark my chest my shoulder line, shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then my neckline, 3 by the width and 2 by the 1.5 by the depth. Note that we are not using this neckline. Okay, so from there now I will just connect my shoulder slope to meet my chest line like this. So guys, that is it. Now the next thing I will be doing is just to take my body measurements. I'll first of all start with my bust point line, bust measurement divided by 4. Then I will mark it on the chest line. Okay, then I will mark it like this. Then after that, look for the midpoint here, just where we did at the front. Then look for the midpoint for this back here. I will just connect from the midpoint to meet my bust measurements like this. Okay, so this is that. So this is how it look like. Now the next thing I will just add that my allowance by 1.5 inches. You remember we added 1.5 inches for seam allowance at the front. You repeat the same thing to the back as well. Then I'll come over to the waistline, divide my waist by 4, and add 1.5 inches for my seam allowance. Note that this bag I'm not adding that, but if you want to add that to your bag, it's also fine. Go ahead to add that to it, but for me, I don't add that. Okay, so guys, this is me rolling these lines together. Then guys, the next thing we'll be doing, you remember we come up by 1 inches for the front. Okay, so at this back here, we will also do the same thing from the chest line. I will come up by 1 inches. Okay, if you came up by 2 inches at the front, repeat the same thing to the back as well. Okay, but for this particular one here, I came up by 1 inches at the front, then I will also do it at the down part. So for me to create my neckline for the down part, for the back, I will just maintain the chest line here to create my neckline. So you can as well come down if you want to come down. If you want to come down by the chest line down a bit, you can do that. It all depends on you. But for me, I want to maintain the chest line here. Then I connect it to make the armhole where my 1 inches stopped. Okay, I connect it like so with a curve ruler. Then guys, basically we are done. I will just go ahead to cut out this pattern. Okay, so guys, this is how it looks like after cutting. So this is the front part here. I will just go ahead to identify them so that we will not be confused. Here's my side front, the center front. Remember this part here is on fold. Then the back. Okay, this it will be looking like. Okay, so now you can see that the front and the back is equal. Okay, you can see that is equal, and this is how it looks like. I will just go ahead to transfer this part with my fabric. Okay, so now I'm using this velvet fabric for the upper parts, okay, and the skirt as well. So I will now use this pattern now to cut out this fabric. I will first of all pin it down so that it will stay firm when cutting. It will not be shifting. Always pinning before cutting. Okay, then I will pin it down, then I will cut it. Remember to add half an inch all round. For the side, you cut it equal because we have already added our seam allowance. While for the dart part, go ahead to add half an inch to it. Okay, so guys, this is me cutting the back parts. I will also use my velvet or my suede, anyone you call it. I will use it to cut out my back also. Then I will place my pattern, my back pattern on it like this. Then I will now pin it first. I will now pin it. After pinning it, I will cut it out. Okay, so guys, now I've cut it, and for the back it will not be on fold. So I'm here. This is me cutting, slitting this tooth. I'm slitting it so that it will have two parts. Okay, so this means notching the zipper allowance. Go ahead to notch your zipper allowance so that you will know where your zipper will start from. Okay, so guys, this is how it looks like. This is the back pattern, and I will go ahead to cut out the facing of all these ones here. Okay, I will also cut out the facing with this fabric also. Okay, I will also use this pattern to cut out the facing as well. Okay, so after cutting my facing, I will just go ahead to use my hasting to iron to this fabric. Always work with hasting. If you want a good work, you want a good work, always work with hasting. So I'll go ahead to work with hasting. So guys, this is how it looks like. If you find this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe so that and you turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss out the sewing part. So that in my next video, I will share with us for this part 2 of this video. So guys, thanks for watching. Bye. See you in my next video.